Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. I'm Horrorboy465, the Explorer of Horror here. Welcome back to some more videos, and welcome back to another Q&A video. This is Q&A, the Horrorboy465 live Q&A number 2. Now, in this broadcast, I'll be answering some questions. Since this is live, you guys can leave any questions you guys want to. I'm also going to be reading off some questions I got from well, it was on the video, the Horrorboy465 Q&A number 2 questions video, and I'll be answering some questions from that video. Before I get into it, like I said, welcome back to their broadcast, and welcome back to some more Q&A videos. This is the second Q&A on the channel, and I'm glad to be here and answering some questions. So you guys can leave as many questions as you guys want to. It can be about anything. It can be about horror movies. It can be about video games. Also, I will be reviewing these movies after Prom Night 2. I will be reviewing the rest of the Prom Night franchise. I might review Prom Night 2, if not tonight, then tomorrow, but I'm sure if I can finish watching tonight, then I'm probably going to review tonight. But anyways, guys, just going to check here real quick and see if we got any questions popping up. Not really seeing any questions right now, but Red Band Cast has asked some questions on the Q&A, the Horrorboy465 Q&A number 2 questions video, and I'll answer the questions. His first question is, what is your favorite horror sequel of all time? That's a tough one because there's a lot of sequels out there that I really enjoy. My favorite of all time, my favorite sequel of all time. There's a lot of sequels to think about. Because there's Halloween 2, there's Halloween 3. In my opinion, yes, Halloween 3 is a great sequel. There's Friday the 13th Part 2, 3. In my opinion, 5. My favorite horror movie sequel of all time. It's a really tough question. Good question, Steve. I would say either I'm thinking Dawn of the Dead, which is a sequel. Technically, it's a sequel to Night of the Living Dead. I mean, I know that Dawn of the Dead doesn't really have a lot of connection. I mean, it has zombies in it, but it's not like a direct sequel to Night of the Living Dead. It's a sequel, but it doesn't really have any of the characters, which they all died anyway. So there's not really, besides the zombie stuff like that, but it is a sequel. But I would just say Dawn of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead. I'm trying to think of all the sequels that I really enjoy because I really enjoy a lot of sequels. So I'll look over there real quick and see what sequels I really enjoy. I don't know. It's a tough one. I would say Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead's probably my favorite. Not only is it one of my favorite zombie movies, it's one of my favorite horror movie sequels out there. So I would say it's definitely my favorite horror movie sequel is Dawn of the Dead. Next question from Steve is which horror sequel is your least favorite? I think it would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. That movie is a freaking abomination. It's a freaking piece of garbage film. If you guys have not seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, it's the 4th film in the franchise. It's absolute garbage. I am not a fan of it at all. It's a horrible film. I am not a fan of that movie at all. It is probably the worst horror sequel I've ever seen. Texas Massacre: Next Generation. Definitely the worst one. And yeah, so it would be Texas Massacre: Next Generation be my least favorite. It's an absolutely horrendous sequel. It's horrible. Next question is, what would you say is your favorite horror movie of all time from any? What would you say is your favorite movie of all time from any genre? My favorite movie of all time. Once again, really good question. Big fan of Rocky. I'm a big fan of Harry Potter. Yes, I'm a Harry Potter fan. I would say, if not, I would say Rocky. Definitely Rocky because the ultimate underdog story. I would say my favorite movie of all time is Rocky. Really enjoy Rocky. Big fan of the Rocky movies. And I absolutely love the sequels as well. I love Rocky 2, Rocky 3. I love it. It's still a classic in my opinion. Rocky 4 is an 80s classic. Definitely love Rocky 4. Rocky 5 is highly underrated. Yes, I think it's highly underrated. Not a lot of people like Rocky 5. I'm a fan of Rocky 5. I think it's very underrated. Yeah, is it as good as the previous films? No, but I still thought it was a pretty good movie. I'm still a fan of the film, Rocky Five. Um, like I said, it's not a classic, it's not a great movie like the other movies, but it's a decent, pretty good movie. I can still say I'm a fan of it, but I don't know. I mean, it's not nearly as good as Rocky 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 even. But I would say it's still a good movie. I would say that I still really enjoyed the film. That I still really enjoy like that I really like the film. But yeah, Rocky 5 is underrated. So and also Rocky Balboa is a really great movie. And I thought that Creed was pretty good. So I really love the franchise, but my favorite movie of all time from any genre would be Rocky. Really enjoy the film Rocky. And what is next question is what is your favorite band or slash musical artist? Um, as far as my favorite bands, I actually listen to a variety of music. I listen to rap. Um, I listen to a lot of electronic music, so I listen to Skrillex, Dead Mouse, a lot of stuff like that. I listen to AC/DC. I listen to Ozzy Osbourne, Alice in Chains. To be honest, I would say probably my favorite is Alice in Chains. Really a big fan of Alice in Chains. I think they're underrated now. Not a lot of people talk about Alice in Chains anymore, and but I'm a really big fan of Alice in Chains. Love Alice in Chains. Definitely a great band. So my favorite band would be Alice in Chains, but right underneath that would be AC/DC. Man, I love AC/DC. Classic rock. It's freaking awesome. Classic rock and roll. So really enjoy AC/DC. I would even say maybe AC/DC and Alice in Chains come into a tie for the first place, but I would just say that in this video I'm leaning more towards Alice in Chains, but freaking AC/DC is like one of the greatest rock bands of all time. So definitely some AC/DC number two. But I would say that my favorite's Alice in Chains, but AC/DC is freaking amazing rock. Really enjoy AC/DC. Some other groups that I really enjoy, some other music I really enjoy. Um, like I said, I like electronic music. I've listened to Skrillex and I've listened to Dead Mouse. Really enjoy their music. Um, Electronic is also, not electronic, but like I don't know, well, like electronic music and it's kind of underrated. I really enjoy electronic music, really good music in my opinion. And the last question says, if you were stranded on a desert island and could only take one musical album, one movie, one book, what would those be? We'll also send you the Bible and the complete works of Shakespeare just to give you some culture. that's a funny that's a funny one, man. Um, but that's a great question. If I was stranded on an island, one musical album, in my opinion, this is a really old classic rock and roll album. It's back in the 60s, late 60s. If you guys don't know this band, you really need to check them out. Probably my favorite old school time band, and that is Creedence Clearwater Revival. If I was stranded on a desert island, I just put on some Creedence Clearwater Revival, kick back, relax on a desert island. I would be trying to survive, but turn on some Creedence Clearwater Revival. Um, as far as the album would go, I would actually have the Chronicle album, which was made basically their best hits. But for those of you that don't know, Creedence Clearwater Revival, big fan of that band. It was also the song Bad Moon was in Bad Moon Rising was in American Murder for London. But I really enjoy that band, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Definitely a classic rock band. And if I was stranded on an island, I would turn on some Creedence Clearwater Revival. For those of you that don't know what that band is, definitely look it up. Got some classic songs. Really, really great band. One book, I would say the favorite books I like to read is Stephen King books. So far, the one I really enjoyed the most would probably be definitely like to be on an island with the book Carrie. So that's because I'm reading Pet Cemetery right now, which is pretty good. But I've read Carrie. I've read a little bit. Well, I didn't actually finish the books, but I've read most of Carrie. I've read most of Cujo. which the movie followed the book really well, at least from what I read. Um, I've read Christine. I really enjoy that book as well. But right now I'm reading Pet Cemetery, and so far it's pretty good. So um, definitely can't wait to read Pet Cemetery and see how, I'm sure it's going to be a great book because big fan of Stephen King as an author, and so far it's a pretty good book. But if I was stranded on an island, I definitely would have the Carrie book because the Carrie book more intense in the movies, and I like how in the book it explains a little bit more behind Carrie's powers, and and extra stuff was added in there. I like the fact that there's certain parts of the book with like news reports and stuff like that. Really interesting stuff. Really enjoyed the Carrie, the book Carrie. But yeah, if I was stranded on an island and I had one movie, one book, and one musical album, it would be Creative Cloud Revival. My movie would be Texas Massacre, the original Texas Massacre, and my book would be Carrie, the book Carrie. And pretty much it on those questions. Thanks, Red Band Cast Steve. Thanks for asking some really great questions, man. I really enjoyed those questions. Thank you so much for asking those questions. And if you guys want to leave some questions while you guys are watching this live broadcast, you guys can. I usually make these live so I can get more questions going, and it makes it a little bit more interactive so I can answer them as they pop up. But if you guys want to ask more questions, you guys can. But for right now, until we get some more questions, I'll just talk about a little bit about the future plans and talk about some things here and there. Because for right now, I think that's about it on the questions. So that's about it on the questions. But hang on, guys. I'm just checking the live stream here. So if I'm like pausing for a second, I'm checking the live stream to see if there's any questions. So far, no questions, but you guys can ask as many as you guys want. You guys can ask any questions about anything. It can be about, like I said, video games, horror movies. It can be about anything. Really can't wait to get some questions rolling in here. I'll be checking it here and there. But as far as future plans go, pretty much right now I'm doing the future plans. I'm reviewing the Prom Night movie, which I have right here, which has Prom Night 3 and 4 in this double pack, where Prom Night 3 is like TV cut, and like the Prom Night remake, and Prom Night 4 is like one of the worst sequels I've seen. And Prom Night the remake is one of the worst remakes I've seen. So just, I already said that in like the first review, but Prom Night 4 is an awful sequel, and Prom Night the remake is an awful remake. So the ending of that franchise is definitely not the greatest, but yeah, I pretty much have already talked about the majority of my future plans. Like I said, I want to review some sequels that I haven't talked about yet. I definitely want to start doing some broadcasts again. Hopefully we can do some broadcasts about different things. I'm not really sure right now, but try to come up with an idea to do for a broadcast. And you guys are welcome to join if you guys want to. If there's enough space, you guys are more than welcome to join. It's really fun to do. I really enjoy doing these live broadcasts. Q&As are actually very fun to do because it's interactive. I can actually talk to you guys, and you guys can ask questions. I can answer them live for you guys, and it's a really cool thing. So I do them live because it's definitely very interactive. Really enjoy doing live Q&As, and live broadcasts are just fun to do. Just getting with friends, talking about horror movies, which is my favorite thing to talk about, with some of my best friends, live broadcast, discussing a franchise, a horror franchise, and it's really cool to do, really fun to do, really enjoy doing it. And thanks for watching and supporting those videos, guys. It really is cool that you guys do that. Really appreciate that. And also thank you to Steve, John Grande, Andre, Mr. Unspeakable, or his new channel name. His new channel name is Gideon Morbid. So if you guys want to go check out Mr. Unspeakable's new channel, not really new channel, he changed the name. It's Gideon Morbid, I believe now. Does some really cool content. He was on the Nightmare on Elm Street broadcast. Thanks so much, man, for being in the Nightmare on Elm Street broadcast. Yeah, Gideon Morbid. So really enjoy his content. Thanks so much for being in the Nightmare on Elm Street broadcast, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you to like I said, Steve, Andre, Gideon Morbid. I'm so used to calling him Mr. Unspeakable. I'm going to get used to that now to call him Gideon Morbid. I'm sorry about that. I'm just so used to saying Mr. Unspeakable. But pretty much everybody else who's been in the broadcast with me. Grim Reaper, really good friend of mine, Grim Reaper. Definitely check out his videos as well. Go check out other videos. John Grande, R&R Horror Hunter, Gideon Morbid, Grim Reaper, Andre. They all make some really cool content. Really enjoy their stuff. And thanks to you guys. Thank you guys for being in the broadcast. If you guys see this, thank you guys so much for being in the broadcast. They're so fun to do and really enjoy doing them. Sorry about that, guys. I know when it's live, anything can happen. But someone just sort of like walked in my door and they walked out. Anyways, but yeah, thanks guys so much for being in those videos. Really appreciate it. And thanks for watching those videos, guys. Just gonna keep checking out the comments here on the live stream. I'm gonna try and refresh it here and there. Try and see if more questions pop up. Not really any questions right now. And the first broadcast I did, I really didn't get that many questions. So this is a Q&A, but it also is just sort of me just discussing some things. And a Q&A sort of mixed in there, so it's a little bit different. So I'll be like sort of talking about some things, and then some questions will pop up, answer the questions. I'll go back talking about some things. But as far as some movies that are coming out, new releases, not really anything in particular I'm excited about. I know that the new Star Wars movie, Star Wars Rogue One, is coming out. It looks pretty decent, pretty good. Actually, it looks really good. I can't wait to see it. But as far as horror movies go, right now I'm not really seeing any horror movies. At least I can think of right now that that I really want to go see right now. That's in theaters. But as far as newer movies, I don't know. There's not really a lot of them that I'm wanting to see lately. Besides the new Spider-Man trailer has been released, and like I said, there's just a few. There's just not a lot of movies coming out right now that I'm really interested in seeing. But yeah, I mean, as far as new releases go, there's not really a lot of films that's coming out that I'm really excited to see. But yeah, I'm not really interested in seeing any new releases right now. But as far as, like I said, future plans, reviewing some sequels that I haven't talked about yet, doing some broadcasts, probably doing some DVD updates, stuff like that. Some really cool content coming in the future. I can't wait to do that. I also want to redo my gameplays on the Skyrim, on the game Skyrim, because when I did my gameplays, some of you guys won't know this. I freaking kept getting attacked by these guards and stuff like that, and it was really messed up. The broadcast went really bad, so I decided to delete those videos. I'm gonna restart those videos because they were really bad. But I figure I played it because it's probably because my favorite. I figure I played the game though because my favorite video game of all time. I mean, it really is my favorite video game of all time. Really, 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 am a big fan of Skyrim. But as far as like, sorry about that. My brother's being freaking bad out there. But as far as like future plans, just gonna review some sequels. Not really getting any questions right now. But also, if you guys wanted to go check out some more stuff, the Facebook, the Horrorboy465 official Facebook page is up and running. Still not a lot of content on there yet, but I will be putting more on there as time goes by. I also have a Twitter account. If you guys want to go and follow me on all that stuff, it's all in the link. It's all in the channel links. When you guys go to my YouTube channel, all my social media stuff is right there. I got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I also got an Amazon wish list. In case you guys are, want to check that out. But I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good social media stuff. We got a question from Chrissy James. What is your favorite Chucky film? Really great question. Thanks for asking that. My favorite Chucky film would definitely be without a doubt, the first movie, because I really enjoy some of the sequels. Really enjoy Part 2. Part 3 is really underrated. Really enjoy Part 3. Bride of Chucky is actually a film I think is pretty decent. Seed of Chucky is not good. Is not good at all. Curse Chucky is okay. It's all right. I think it's okay. But thanks for asking that question, Chrissy James. Really great question. Thanks for asking the question. Definitely my favorite Chucky movie would be the very first movie. You can't beat the first Child's Play. It's definitely a classic. Great movie. And thanks for asking questions. Thank you. Great question, and yeah, definitely the first Child's Play film. But yeah, definitely the first Child's Play. Thanks for asking the question. But as far as more franchises I'm gonna be reviewing, I don't know. I mean, I'm planning on reviewing the Prom Night movie. As you guys can tell, I'm reviewing the Prom Night movies. I plan on reviewing the Troll movies. I plan on reviewing the Crow films, which is a franchise I really enjoy. Rest in peace to Brandon Lee. The first movie, The Crow, it ended up costing Brandon Lee's life. He died from an accident on the set. But the film is a great movie. We lost a great actor, Brandon Lee. Really good actor in that film, and did a really good job in that film. So rest in peace to Brandon Lee. But I'll be reviewing the first Crow movie, which is a classic. The second film, which I think is pretty decent. The third film, which I think is pretty decent. And the fourth film, which I think is pretty bad. So yeah, I plan on reviewing the Crow films, the Crow franchise. Next, I think we got a question from Chrissy James. Like Sting from WCW. Sting is great. Sting's a great wrestler. I didn't really watch too much WCW because growing up, I think WCW was already like out of business. But I definitely grew up with the Ruthless Aggression era. Also, another topic that I tell you guys could ask about is wrestling. If you guys want to talk about some wrestling WWE, you guys can leave some WWE and wrestling questions if you guys want to. But yeah, I definitely like Sting from WCW, great wrestler, legendary wrestler. So really enjoy Sting from WCW, and he also was in WWE. Although it was completely crappy how WWE treated him. Because he debuted at WrestleMania, he lost to Triple H, which, spoiler alert, by the way, probably too late for that. But then and also spoiler alert for this too, but I'm not even going to get into it. I already spoiled the WrestleMania, but it was like, it was an older WrestleMania, not from forever ago or anything like that, but it was not this year, but last year's WrestleMania. But let's just say this. Sting came back to WWE, and Sting got treated like crap when he came back to WWE. It was freaking ridiculous how he got treated when he came back to WWE, or when he came to WWE. It was really ridiculous. But definitely a legendary wrestler. Really enjoy the character Sting. Great character. And yeah, definitely like the character Sting from WCW. A great character, legendary wrestler. So thanks, Chrissy James, for asking these great questions, and thanks for watching the broadcast. But other franchises, I was actually going to review the Children of the Corn franchise, which was a franchise, believe it or not, like 2013 when I first joined YouTube. That was literally like probably one of my favorite. Believe it or not, guys, believe it or not. one of my favorite horror film franchises at that time was Children of the Corn. Yes, the Children of the Corn movies were my favorite movies, were some of my favorite movies. But, you know, I don't know. I haven't seen them in years. Um, yeah, I do agree with you. Chrissy James says um, Vince is too controlling. Need to let Sting be like Crow. Definitely. Malachi. Great Children of the Corn reference. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really love the first movie. I love the first Children of the Corn. Children of the Corn 2, I haven't seen in a while. I remember not liking that film, but nowadays when I see like trailers of it and clips from it, it seems decent or okay. So I haven't seen it in a while, but I have to rewatch that movie. Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. Really enjoy that sequel. Granted, the lead kid in that film is annoying, but has some great makeup effects, some decent acting in there, some really gruesome ideas. Really enjoy Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest. Definitely a great, in my opinion, a pretty good sequel. Children of the Corn 4 The Gathering, I hate. Children of the Corn 5 Build of Terror. For some reason, I said it was decent, but anymore, I think it's just crap. Children of the Corn 666 Eyes Return. I think that was, I remember thinking that one was decent. Children of the Corn, I think Revelation was the 7th one. I remember not liking that film. And then Children of the Corn, the remake, which is once again one of the worst remakes out there. And then, of course, the Children of the Corn, Children of the Corn, what was it freaking? I just forgot the name of it. Children of the Corn, I really did forget the freaking title of it. I'm about to look it up. But it's like the last movie in the Children of the Corn franchise. I am not a fan of it. I really am not. It's the freaking 8th film. No, well, it's the 9th film, but I don't know if it really is a sequel. I don't know. I don't remember. I really don't remember it that well. Trying to see here. It was like Children of the Corn Origins or something. I really cannot freaking remember it. I think it was like Children of the Corn Genesis. I think, yeah, Genesis. That's what it was. Not the other title was Children of the Corn Genesis, which is a 3.8 on IMDb. Also, I thought that movie back when I first joined YouTube, I said that it was decent. Yeah, I said that Children of the Corn Genesis back in 2013 was decent. You know, and I would say as a franchise, it has a couple of good movies in there, like 3 and 1. And 6 was decent, and 2. Anymore, I see clips of it. I think it looks pretty decent. So I don't know. So I think there's a couple movies in there that are good, especially the first and third movie. But besides that, the franchise as a whole is definitely not the best one. It's definitely not the best one. It's pretty compared to other franchises out there. It's not a freaking legendary franchise at all. And I think even Stephen King is not proud of that franchise. I think he said the first one was like decent and the rest sucked. I remember seeing like an interview and he said he's like, "Oh yeah, the first one's decent, the rest suck." So even Stephen King doesn't like the franchise, Children of the Corn franchise. So yeah, that's saying something. I mean, yeah, I mean you got 4, you got 5, you got remake, you got Genesis, you got Revelation. All these movies are just awful. So anymore, my opinions have changed in the franchise. I used to love that franchise, but anymore, like I hate 7, I hate 5, I hate 4, I hate the remake, I hate Genesis, which I haven't seen in a while either. And another question from Chrissy James. What good movies have wrestlers in them? There's a couple of good ones. Majority of them are not good, but there's a couple of them. See No Evil is a movie that I really enjoy. I think it's a decent slasher film. It doesn't have a wrestler in it, but from what I've heard, it has a reference to Triple H. It's a film called Oculus, which is Productions, or WWE Studios, whatever. And that movie's pretty decent, pretty good. I'm trying to think. I haven't seen too many. Honestly, from in my opinion, The Marine isn't that bad. Like The Marine for me is just an okay, decent action film. It's not horrible. It gets a very low rating, I believe, on IMDb. I don't think it's great, but I don't hate it. I don't despise the Marine one. Now, the Marine sequels, I haven't seen them yet, but you got The Miz starring in the Marine 3 and the Marine 4, and I think he's going to star in Marine 5 or something like that. I don't even freaking care anymore because I don't know. I really don't care about the sequels about the Marine. I really don't care about the Marine sequels. But in my opinion, the good movies that have wrestlers in them, I would say See No Evil. I would say the first The Marine with John Cena. I think it's an okay action film. Oculus doesn't really have a wrestler in it, but it's from WWE Studios. But I would tell you this: avoid Leprechaun Origins. Avoid that movie. Really avoid that movie. I have it. I actually bought the DVD. I spent $10, I believe, $10 or $15 on the DVD of Leprechaun Origins, and man, it's awful. I don't know. I really don't remember. I don't really watch a lot of WWE's movies, but Leprechaun Origins is really bad. So I would really avoid Leprechaun Origins. Really, I would really try to stay away from that movie. It's not good. So yeah, I would try to avoid Leprechaun Origins. It's pretty bad. But as far as the good ones, I would say The Marine. In my opinion, The Marine was good. I would say See No Evil, Oculus. Those are some good movies. Um, I haven't seen 12 Rounds in a while, so I don't really remember too much from 12 Rounds. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't remember hating the film. I remember it was like 12 Rounds 2. I know they made a movie called The Condemned, and then the Condemned 2. Actually, really good suggestion. Roddy Piper and They Live. That's actually a really good suggestion, Chrissy James. I haven't seen that movie yet. Shockingly enough, I have not seen They Live yet. Although I really can't wait to see it. I've heard it's really good. I've heard some really good things about it. It looks very interesting. I really can't wait to see it. Big fan of Roddy Piper. Big fan of John Carpenter. Heard it's a great movie. I want to pick up the Scream Factory edition, but if I can't, I'll get the other DVD. But I really do want to pick up the Scream Factory edition. That's a good suggestion. Roddy Piper, They Live. Really, really good choice. I haven't seen that movie yet, but I definitely want to see it. Really want to see it. I definitely am interested in seeing They Live. Really can't wait to see They Live. Because it's from what I've heard, a really good horror film. And also John Carpenter, really, really great director. Director of Christine, love Christine. Director of The Thing, classic horror film. But yeah, They Live is a great movie as well. From what I've heard, it's a pretty good movie. It's a movie that I really can't wait to watch. It's a movie that I'm really interested in seeing. So yeah, They Live. I've heard some really good things about it. I'm trying to think of anything else I was going to say. Oh yeah. Now I was wanting to review these because a long time ago I talked about Dragon. If you guys remember, I reviewed Dragon Ball Evolution, and you know it's a very bad film. I'm a very big fan of the anime. Actually, me and Colton were talking about it, and me and him might review Battle of Gods. So very soon, probably, we'll be reviewing Battle of God, Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods. Really enjoy that film, and he asked me if it was cool if we reviewed it. I was like, heck yeah, we'll review it. And I'll also be talking about Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, but I have to watch those animes first. So once I see all those animes, I'll be reviewing those animes. I don't really watch a lot of anime. I know that Dragon Ball Z is like the most mainstream anime, but you know I don't really. I've tried to watch some other anime, but my favorite is definitely Dragon Ball Z. So I will be reviewing some Dragon Ball stuff. I'll be reviewing Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. I'll be talking about some of the movies like Super Android 13. If I can find it, I really enjoy that film. In my opinion, GT is very good. It's underrated. It gets said to be like the worst one. It's like a 7 out of 10, which sounds like a high rating, but compared to the other compared to the other animes, it's very low because the other ones like 8 point, like they get like 8 out of 10. Like GT gets like 7 out of 10. But GT is really good. Dragon Ball Z is my favorite anime. Dragon Ball is a really good anime. Really enjoy it. What about Chrissy James asked another question. What about Street Fighter movies? I never really grew up with Street Fighter. I've never seen the movie. And there was like 2 live action movies. There's Street Fighter from the 90s with Van Damme, which I heard was awful. And I heard it was really bad. And also there's like a sequel called like The Legend of Chun-Li or something like that, which I heard was really bad. Actually, some people have said that it's worse than the 90s movies, so I don't know. But as far as the Street Fighter movies go, I heard they're bad, but I have not seen the Street Fighter movies. I haven't even played the Street Fighter games. Like I never really played them a lot growing up. I was more of a Mortal Kombat guy. Growing up, I played Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, great game. I remember playing Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat, Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon. I also played Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, Mortal Kombat 9, and I actually have Mortal Kombat X over there. Really enjoy the Mortal Kombat games, but yeah, I never really seen Street Fighter that much. I might watch the movies, but I heard they're kind of bad. But I've never really seen any of the movies from the Street Fighter, series. I've never played any of the games. I never really grew up with Street Fighter, but I'll definitely check them out one day. Give them a watch, give the movies a watch, and play the games a little bit. I just never really grew up with the Street Fighter movies. I grew up with Mortal Kombat and Dragon Ball Z. That's the fighting games and talking about fighting games. Also I'll be like talking about probably some Dragon Ball Z games, because growing up, Dragon Ball Z games were probably growing up my favorite games to play because they were such cool fighting games. My favorites were Budokai Tenkaichi and Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Really enjoy those games. Really great games, especially Budokai Tenkaichi 2. I never really played Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I played Budokai 2 and Budokai. Budokai is pretty decent. Budokai 2 is pretty decent. Budokai 3. I played like, what was it, like Dragon Ball Z. It was like a PS3 game. It was not that good. It was kind of like a, not much to it kind of game. I don't know. It was like a PS3 Dragon Ball Z game. I really don't remember it. It wasn't like Battle. It was not. I don't think it was Battle of Z. I don't think it was. I don't think it was Battle of Z. But I know it was one of the video games to the PS3. I remember playing it and thinking that it was like a typical fighting game. Like there was not much to it at all. But definitely, I'll be talking about some Dragon Ball Z games, some Dragon Ball, like talking about the Dragon Ball animes, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT. Thankfully, I've already reviewed the Dragon Ball, the live action movie Dragon Ball Evolution, which, if you guys can check that out, you guys can. I freaking hate that film. It's a freaking awful film. But yeah, I can't wait to watch the Dragon Ball animes so that I can review them. I'm reading mangas right now as well. I'm reading Fullmetal Alchemist. I read some Naruto. Thought it was decent. I have not started reading Fullmetal Alchemist yet, but I plan to read the manga. I I did watch the Seven Deadly Sins. That was pretty good. Um, I just don't really watch too much anime. I've watched, some of the mainstream stuff like Naruto. I watched Seven Deadly Sins. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed an anime called Parasite. If you guys have not seen Parasite, it's a really good anime. Really enjoyed that anime. Great anime, Parasite. Um, Dragon Ball Z, though, without a doubt, is my favorite anime of all time. But I don't watch it a lot. So, I mean, I stick to the mainstream stuff. I did watch Parasite. Thought it was great. Seven Deadly Sins, pretty good. Um, and Dragon Ball Z is definitely my favorite one. But I also thought that Naruto was decent. But definitely, definitely really enjoyed. Sorry, I just paused here so I can talk on the screen. Really enjoy the Dragon Ball Z anime and all the Dragon Ball animes. Really enjoy them. Couple other stuff here from Chrissy James. Crying Freeman. I've never really heard of that anime. Never really heard of that anime. Definitely check it out. Probably. I don't know. Never really heard of that anime. And then it says they made a movie. Made a movie of what, like, Crying Freeman or Parasite or I don't know. I know they made like Naruto movies, like anime movies. I don't know if they made an actual live action movie. If they did, I did not know that. But I know that Avatar, which I'm not really. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Avatar the anime. But I know that there was a movie, like a live action movie of Avatar, which was freaking awful. Oh, a Crying Freeman movie. Oh, that's cool. Is it live action or is like an anime film? Because I know that they make some anime movies as well. Like they when Dragon Ball Z, when they make their movies, they make stuff like Dragon Ball, The Path to Power, Dragon Ball Z, Super Android 13, the Broly films, Battle of God, Resurrection F. So is it like a live action movie or is it like an anime movie? Because I know they make live action movies and they also make anime films. But manga, anime, and live action. Oh, so it is live. It is like it did get a live action movie. Oh, cool. Yeah, I never really heard about the anime, but hey, I'll check it out. I never really heard about Seven Deadly. Like I heard about Seven Deadly Sins, but I checked it out. Really enjoyed that. Heard about Parasite. Checked it out. Really enjoyed that. So, um, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna check out Crying Freeman. I really don't watch too much anime though, but that's cool. It got a live action movie. I hope it's better. I really is it better than the Dragon Ball live action movie and the freaking Last Airbender? Those movies are bad. Those movies. Although Dragon Ball is way freaking worse than the Avatar film. Than the Avatar live action movie Last Airbender. Dragon Ball Evolution is by far way freaking worse than that movie. But I still do not like I still do not like the Last Airbender. I thought it was a pretty bad film. But yeah, is it like a good live action movie or is it with Dragon Ball Evolution and Last Airbender, or is it a pretty good live action movie? That's cool. It's got a manga, an anime, and live action. It says his response was, "No, the manga and anime are good. Live action movies suck. They do, man. I swear they do." Let's Dragon Ball Evolution. Not the first Mortal Kombat movie. I actually had a lot of fun with the first Mortal Kombat movie. Really enjoyed the first Mortal Kombat movie. But Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the freaking Last Airbender, Street Fighter, which I know these are sort of anime and game movies, but they both came from like games and anime, and they went to movies. But yeah, you had, like I said, Dragon Ball, Last Airbender. There's a lot of bad live action movies. I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, live action movies based off of games and animes and stuff. usually aren't good. Now, Mortal Kombat was actually really good. I really enjoyed Mortal Kombat the movie, the first movie. The second movie, Annihilation. Um, um, I've seen Mortal Kombat, the original, like the 1995 movie, and the Annihilation film. Annihilation was really bad. Um, I think you just saw a line from the movie. I studied all your moves, Sonya. Yeah, I definitely remember that from the movie. I also remember when she fought Kano. Really, really, really. I mean, it wasn't much of a fight, but the ending was pretty cool, where she just freaking breaks his neck. And also, really enjoyed that music playing in that movie. And that movie has some great music, some really good music. But yeah, I mean, there's some good live action movies. I'll be honest, not all of them suck. There are some of them that are good. It's just most of them freaking suck. Like Dragon Ball Evolution, Last Airbender, freaking trying to think here. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Just a lot of bad um, just a lot of bad live action films based off of games and anime and stuff like that. Mortal Kombat Techno Remix. Yeah, that theme song, Mortal Kombat. Really enjoy that. Really enjoy that song. But yeah, we're at I think we're at 46 minutes now. So I might wrap it up here in a second. So you can go ahead and ask your final questions, guys. Thank you, Chrissy James, for asking some really great questions. It was cool talking to you. Thanks for watching the broadcast. You can start leaving, and you guys can all start leaving your guys' final questions if you guys want to. I'm gonna be wrapping this Q&A number 2 up here in a second, so you guys can ask like the final question, stuff like that. But Chrissy James, thanks for watching the broadcast. Thanks for asking some really cool questions. And thanks for watching the broadcast. But I'm gonna be wrapping it up here in a few seconds. But yeah, Mortal Kombat the movie definitely does have some great music in it. Some really great classic techno music. Really enjoy the music to Mortal Kombat the movie. Definitely not as bad as some people say it is. Some people say it's like one of the worst game movies out there. No, one of the worst game movies out there is, well, from what I've heard, Street Fighter. Freaking, I could say Dragon Ball Evolution because they made video games, but it was based off of the anime, so I really can't say that. I haven't seen Mortal Kombat. I haven't seen Mario Brothers the Mario Brothers movie in a while, so I don't really remember it that much. But yeah, definitely there's some great music in the Mortal Kombat movie. Some just fun music, and I would even say this: Mortal Kombat Annihilation is complete crap, but I think that it has some pretty decent songs. That's probably some of the very few good things in that film, but the movie is bad. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is pretty bad, but I definitely think that it has pretty decent songs. For the most part, decent songs. Just not a fan of the movie. When literally there is a freaking shot in the film, which it's freaking crazy, where freaking Rain gets knocked into a pit of fire. And I swear, Rain doesn't even freaking fight in that film. And he gets knocked into a pit of fire. And later on, Baraka, which is a horrible, mask and costume, it's awful. Baraka gets knocked into this fire pit. I swear, I took the freaking same shot of Rain falling in the fire. The same shot, the same freaking shot, and you did it again for Baraka falling in the fire. Go back to the film. If you guys had Mortal Kombat Annihilation, go back to that scene where Baraka falls into the pit of fire. Rewind it back and slowly play it forward. You can see Baraka is not Baraka. It's freaking Rain. Because it's purple freaking like ninja gear. Falling. If you play in slow motion, you can catch it where it's purple ninja armor falling in the fire. So it's freaking Rain. Only they did a really quick cut on it, so they thought, oh well, you know, they couldn't. I don't know what the freak happened, but they quick cutted it so that you can barely see rain falling in. But when you play it back really slowly, you can tell it's rain because it's like purple ninja gear and stuff like that. So that was freaking thought it was a really bad freaking part of the film. Another question here by Chrissy James: Do you think they'll do a remake of Zardoz? Zardoz. I feel like I've heard that name before. Let me look it up. I think if it's the movie I'm thinking of, I've heard about it. I don't know. Let me look. If it's what I think it is, then I don't know if they're gonna do a remake of it. Is it? I think Zardoz. Is that the one with Sean Connery? With 5.8, John Borman, the guy who made Exorcist 2. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know. I've heard about Zardoz. Yeah, director of Exorcist 2. I've heard about Zardoz. I haven't really heard the best things about it, but they might do a remake to improve it. They might do a remake to improve it. I don't know, but I have not really heard the best things about that. I know that Sean Connery's in it. I've heard some stuff about certain scenes in that film. I've heard some stuff. I've just heard stuff about that film. I heard that it's pretty weird. I don't know. I mean, I might check it out, but um, 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 I definitely think I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard some bad things about it. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people do hate it. Chrissy James, a lot of people do hate it. I've heard some really bad things about it. Chris James said, yes, it's weird but interesting. I mean, I might give it a watch and check it out, but I've heard that it's really weird movie. But anyways, guys, I mean, they might make a remake of Zardoz just to make it a little bit better, but I don't know. I haven't seen Zardoz. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, they might make a remake just to improve it a little bit. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the broadcast. Horrorboy465 live Q&A number 2. Thanks so much for the really cool questions, Chrissy James. Thanks for watching the video, and thanks all you guys for watching the video and supporting the video. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, so anyways, guys, thanks for watching the broadcast. And I will see you guys on the next review.